Ever had a dream, some great idea that just lights up your heart and you wished you could bring it to life? Well, today's show is all about creativity, community, and what happens when a vision gets grounded in reality through hard work and collaboration. My guests are Rose Sellery and Melissa Kreisa, two exceptional local artists and the founding organizers behind the Ripple Effect Santa Cruz Arts Festival happening April 16th through the 26th. It's an abundant celebration of the creative community all across Santa Cruz County. It's happening during California's Arts and Culture Month, and Ripple Effect invites audiences of all ages to experience the transformative power of art. And I mean all kinds of art, visual, performance, dance, and more. And we are going to get into it right now with Rose and Melissa. Thank you so much for coming into the studio to share about Ripple Effect.
Thank you, Christine. It's so good to be here.
It'd be nice if I turned your mics up. Thank you. That's so great. And so I first interviewed you both in September of 2022. And after that show, I remember Rose and you, Melissa, you were standing outside the studio and I interrupted a conversation, and it turned out Rose was talking about this dream of doing an arts festival. It was smaller in vision at that time, but it sounded so exciting then, and it sounds really exciting now. So let's get into it. And I also want to let our listeners know the two of you are, I think, exceptionally qualified to be putting together a show like this because you have intimate knowledge of the absolutely extraordinarily rich artistic community that lives in Santa Cruz County. You're both artists, as I said, but Melissa, you own MK Contemporary, which is a large art gallery right in downtown Santa Cruz next to the Museum of Art and History. And in that beautiful large space, you have been curating these incredible shows and hosting many, many artists that come through there. So you know the arts community, and you both are really skilled at organizing and making stuff happen. So I want to get into it. I touched on this in my intro, but what was the inspiration for this event?
Well, it started when the city of Santa Cruz was offering card grants that were economic recovery grants to artists, and artists would propose an idea and the city would fund it or not fund it or develop it further. And I had written a grant for an arts festival to take place at the Tannery Arts Center that would be either a one day or a weekend, really immersive arts festival that would bring together artists, musicians, dancers, singers, and create hands-on experiences to really ignite the community's interest in the arts, because I feel if you get a chance to try something, you're more likely to fall in love with it. So to make a print, to try some dance steps, to sing along with someone, that would be an exciting way to help build the arts, and we could bring in different members of the community and organizations to do that. I got the grant, and then circumstances happened that put it on hold, and eventually I thought it was just gone. But we started having a conversation together later that involved drinks, cocktails, with Melissa, myself, and Marla Novo from the Museum of Art and History. And we were wondering, why isn't Santa Cruz an arts destination? And darn it, we should do something about that.
Yeah, it's been a long time conversation around the community for years and years too, of that exact thing. Why is Santa Cruz not more of an arts destination when we have this immense talent, layers and layers of talent? And so that was the margarita and fueled conversation Rose is talking about. Darn it, this conversation's been going on for years. Why? Let's do something about it. So yeah, that was the catalyst.
Different members of the community have brought this up and thought, what can we do? And so that started out, and I reached back out to the city and said, hey, is that money still available? And they'd been holding it for me. So thank you, City of Santa Cruz. It helped get us started, enough to give us the move
seed money
forward, where we started bringing together arts organizations. And initially we thought we would do countywide exhibits, but then have music, theater, and dance come to the exhibitions and participate in some way, so we could make it bigger than just the visual arts and include all this richness that we have in Santa Cruz County. But eventually it evolved into a countywide arts festival that included, as you said earlier, music, theater, dance, comedy, culinary, visual arts, performing arts, every organization that we could bring together. And we're all doing it in this condensed period of time where each organization is having something happening. So Santa Cruz Shakespeare, which doesn't normally have something during this time, they're presenting Vincent, a one-man play. The
Cabrillo Music Festival of Contemporary Music is partnering with UCSC at Kumbwa, the UCSC Music Department at Kumbwa, to create a collaborative performance that's going to be political in scope.
Yeah, songs of protest. I saw
Songs of
that.
protest. Yeah,
Wow,
we're really
how
excited
apropos,
about
yeah.
that. So even organizations that don't necessarily do something during this time are jumping in and doing something during this time, because it is an altruistic and very large endeavor, but each of us are going to work together to raise our voices, to bring more people out from our community to get involved with arts. What is this? And I want to go see that, or I want to go there and do that. And to bring people from outside our community to Santa Cruz and all the richness we have here.
And this is just the inaugural year, is the foundation that we're building with the hope and dream that it does outlive us, the way other projects in Santa Cruz have just started with the seed and continued open studios and Cabrillo Festival of Contemporary Music. And, oh gosh, I'm sure Shakespeare Santa Cruz was a similar endeavor where it just starts from a couple people getting together with an idea and
some margaritas and the question, what can we do? That's like my favorite question in the whole world. It's like everything becomes possible when you ask that question, and here it is. And I wanted to say, when I looked at the site, I counted more than 40 options to sample visual arts across the county, 15 plus performance arts options over 11 days, and that's at the Actors Studio, that's Shakespeare Santa Cruz, that's comedy. DNA's got like 3 shows going, really fun stuff, 11 dance events. And for instance, folks, just to give you a taste, one really caught my eye. I'm not a photographer, but I thought this sounded so cool. It's a photo walk with Franz Lanting, the world-renowned National Geographic photographer. I mean, he's more than a National Geographic. Just a lot of his stuff gets shown in National Geographic, and he's collaborating with Motion Pacific dancers, and you're going to meet at Westcliff at dawn. And the dancers are going to be moving at first light, and you can take photographs of this beautiful thing, or you can just enjoy the super cool vibe, really neat.
It's really going to be magical, and Franz is going to kind of lead people. They can bring their iPhones, they can bring
sophisticated
their
camera
brownie
equipment.
cameras, their more sophisticated cameras, and Franz is going to talk to people as they do this during this magical first light with dancers.
Yeah, and the catalyst was Franz. He had the idea to do this, and then Rose's idea to bring in the dancers. We did a test run early one morning a few weeks ago, and it was spectacular. And it was really interesting to see. So the sun was rising in the west. He kept pointing over to the east to look, which was crazy and wonderful for me because I'm not a photographer, because I would think, oh, you're going to look at the sunrise. But he kept pointing us in different directions to look at the light and look how shapes and shadows work. And
Isn't that amazing
And then
to be with
Colette.
this master
Exactly.
artist?
World famous
I had never heard of
photographer.
him, but I went to an exhibition of his that was held in Century City. It was it wasn't him, it was National Geographic. And these huge prints, but so many were this man, Franz Lanting. And then I found out, wow, he lives right here in Santa Cruz. And I want
Yeah.
to tell you people, this event is free, but you must register in advance. And I'm at the shivers.
I got the shivers too.
And I'm like,
I did too.
I'm going home and I'm registering. So because I thought, well, I can't go. I'm not a photographer. But now I've heard the description. I'm like, no, this is just a life experience.
Honestly, it's the best of Santa Cruz because you've got nature right there at Steamer Lane. You've got Franz, like you said, world-renowned photographer, and the dancers from Motion Pacific are magical. And then you've got the surfers, the little surfers jumping into the ocean right behind you, and the cloudscapes, and I mean, the best of Santa Cruz, really. We're going to get
sold.
some beautiful
I'm sold.
photos
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
that too.
Yeah.
You just have to get up early.
You just have to get up early, but there's such a reward to doing that thing that you normally don't do.
Absolutely magical.
In case you just tuned in, let's reintroduce the show. This is KSQD Community Radio for all of the Monterey Bay on 89.5, 89.7, and 90.7 FM, or you can live stream at ksqd.org. My guests are Rose Celery and Melissa Kreisa, the founders of the Ripple Effect Santa Cruz Arts Festival. It's a countywide celebration of the artistic riches found across the county, and it's a wildly collaborative effort involving so many different arts organizations. And so we mentioned a couple of them, right? But I want to dig in a little bit into this collaborative experience. What has it been like connecting with the leaders of Kumbwa? Go ahead. I'll stop talking. Let you talk, because I bet it's been really interesting. These are amazing people, like the head of the Cabrillo Festival. Is it
sorry.
Riley now?
Riley
Nicholson,
Nicholson.
Yeah, they're such an amazing organization. I think having anything to do with them
fantastic.
has to just be super uplifting. So would you share with our listeners some of the stories of your collaborative adventures?
So you touched on the magic of the festival and the concept, and that has been such a gift for us to get to know these folks that we wouldn't necessarily have known. Riley and Chanel Enriquez, who's the executive director over at Kumbwa, and Christy Jarvis, and Val Miranda, and Ann Hazels. Well, we knew Ann pretty well, but all these folks that we wouldn't have known. And now we're working closely with the same vision, under the same umbrella, to try to push the arts forward together. And so that's the whole concept of the ripple effect. It's our little community expanding out to visitors who come and hopefully meet their people also, and then people coming from afar to come in and experience this beautiful community and these people too. So,
And when we started, I think we might have said, well, there's probably 20 or 30 organizations that we could get involved in. It's grown. I think we have over 90 organizations involved.
Oh, wow.
And some of them are doing multiple events. Some of them are collaborating together. Watsonville is doing this fantastic thing on April 18th where they're bringing together a number of the Watsonville entities, the White Hawk Dancers, Pajaro Valley Arts, the Cultural Center, Watsonville Film Festival. I'm trying to think of them all. Lowriders, so many different things.
All the cool stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Watsonville Brilliante. If you haven't seen the magnificent mural that covers the 4-story parking structure there that was created and envisioned by Kathleen Crescetti, they're going to be leading tours, and then they'll have a dance party in the evening up on top, so you'll be able to look out over Watsonville.
Oh.
So Watsonville created their own mini festival for Ripple Effect called Ripple Watsonville. And we're really excited. That one's on April 18th on a Saturday. And there's a fantastic
So just to say,
collaboration right there.
on that one day, you can go to Watsonville and just
See so
indulge
much.
and
well,
feed
you can
your...
get up in the morning, hang out with Franz.
Yeah, I was going to
at
say, it's going to be a
Lighthouse
long
Point,
day for
It's
me.
just-
Go down to Watsonville and see the sunset over top of the parking garage.
That
there.
sounds like a pretty
And then
epically
you can
wonderful
come
day.
to our gallery in the evening and see Michael
Oh,
Garlington.
that's in the afternoon.
who's going to do a lecture and a photo shoot.
Yeah, the 18th is a big day. You could run all the way down the coast.
So on a lot of these days, there's multiple things happening, and you might be torn in what you're going to choose to do. Should I go here and see this, or should I go there and participate in that? Sorry.
Do you offer
gotta
counseling
make up your mind.
services? Ripple effect counselors are standing by.
That's where you come in, Christine.
Which one should I do?
But that's the problem we had hoped to have, is there's too much, I can't see it all.
Yeah, I'm envisioning people actually coming in for a few days and like scheduling all of these wonderful events. It makes me think of, say, the Oregon Shakespeare Festival. We went for 30 years and we would schedule our whole life, and pick the plays and have these experiences. And it was incredible. And, and there were great restaurants, and there's great restaurants here, and you're doing culinary offerings. Can you speak to any of those?
We do have some. We don't have a lot in this first year because it's been, a gigantic task to bring together all these arts organizations, but culinary is certainly another art form. And so one of the things that we're doing is Smoke Cabaret.
So it's a big collaboration between Joe and Gail Ortiz over at Gail's Bakery in Capitola and Chocolat Restaurant with David Jackman and Lori Rivera over at Chocolat Restaurant in downtown Santa Cruz. So we're starting the event with appetizers from Gail's, appetizers and bread, and then we'll have a performance that Joe has written and Lori is performing. And then we'll have a main course by Chocolat, and then dessert again by Gail's, and with a cash bar that Chocolat is also hosting. And we're going to do that all in gallery with a backdrop of our fabulous exhibit that we have going on right now. 2 exhibits, actually. And we're bringing in tables and linens and chairs and china from Alexa's Party Rental. And right now we have 64 of our 65 tickets sold. So there's one left.
One left. So.
But you'll have a
But
wait
we have a
list.
wait list, yes.
That's nice. So people have to cancel. Others can squeeze in. Or you'll just sit them on Zafu's in the corner.
Yeah, or we might do it again. I mean, it's been just so much
Nice,
fun
great
working
idea.
together. And people are asking if it's a fundraiser, and we said no, it's a fundraiser, because the first budget that Joe had done, we all had made $25 if we sold all our tickets. So the goal is just to break even and have a really good time and collaborate, and in the spirit of the ripple effect, where it's just about community, it's about getting to know people, it's about collaborating on the arts and bringing in the visual art in our background and the delicious food and the music and the performance from Lori. And so I'm personally very excited because I have not heard Lori in person.
She's a wonderful singer.
And
She's a wonderful singer.
Yeah.
singer.
And Joe has written many musicals and plays, and Lori has performed them. So it's not only a collaboration between the 2 restaurants, but it's a collaboration from Joe and Lori for the theatrical side. So this just feels so yummy.
Ooh, I just love all the connections that are getting woven. And I'm really seeing, when you have all this weaving, it creates so much strength and beauty, and all kinds of things come from it, which of course ripple effect. And so if this event is just wildly successful, which it's going to be, what are the outcomes afterward that you're envisioning? I mean, people are going to have a great time. They're going to have a rich experience. People are hopefully coming in from out of the area. Have you been advertising like over the hill and stuff?
We do. We have advertising at the Chronicle in San Francisco and the San Jose Mercury News, and
Locally here
in
Lookout, Good Times, Santa Cruz Sentinel, all the big ones.
All the big ones. And do you have you a sense if people are coming in from out of town?
We have heard a few people that are coming in from out of town. And one of the things that's happening during the Ripple Effect Festival is also Photo Carmel, which is put on by the Center of Photographic Art in Carmel. And it's a Central Coast photography exhibitions at venues all across the Central Coast that they're organizing. And we participated last year and are participating again this year. And it brought people from San Francisco and San Luis Obispo to Santa Cruz just to partake in the different photography exhibits that we had around Santa Cruz County.
For Photo Carmel.
For Photo Carmel. So now we're also doing it with ripple effect. So we have a giant photography exhibition in the gallery at MK right now that's called Anatomy of Wonder. It's the photo sculptures of Michael Garlington, who has built Burning Man temples that are covered with collaged photographs, and they're giant 4-story edifices that then get burned down. And we have a huge exhibition of his work in the gallery, as well as another exhibit.
And that's happening right now.
It's
Right.
It's going to
Is
be,
it going to get switched out before Ripple?
No,
It's
it'll
going to stay.
intentional
it'll be
for
up for
Ripple
Ripple.
Effect, yep.
And that's where Lori
And
and
Photocarmel.
performance is going to be.
So we have that side by side. We are very ambitious and had 2 exhibitions with Michael Garlington on one side of the gallery, and then we have another with 8 extraordinary artists from Santa Cruz and the Bay Area. Some photography mixed with painting, mixed with mixed media, ceramics, and kinetic sculpture. So that's called Rochambeau. And we are finalizing the installation not as we speak, because nobody's in the gallery, but this week.
Wow, you two are ambitious.
We
and
are ridiculously ambitious.
Yeah.
And listeners, in case you just tuned in, this is KSQD, K-Squid, community radio for all the Monterey Bay. I have Rose Celery in the studio here with me and Melissa Kreisa. They are the founders of the Ripple Effect Santa Cruz Arts Festival. This is happening April 16th through the 26th. It's 11 days of just gorging oneself on all the artistic riches of Santa Cruz County, cross-fertilizing with theater and comedy and culinary and dance and music. And because of Ripple, I actually went through the events page and I looked at Abbott Square, which I'd never realized Abbott Square had a website. Duh, but they do. But because of Ripple, I found it, because I knew something would be there, and then my head exploded. I'm like, there's all that happening just at Abbott Square all the time. And that's one of the beauties, right, of Ripple, is that people have this concentrated attention because there's so much happening, and then they learn, oh, there are these amazing things in Watsonville that are happening all the time, the Arts Council, and it helps educate us about just the outrageousness of creativity in this county. Yeah,
exactly the dream. That is exactly the dream.
And there's a music festival that's happening at UCSC during this period of time as well. The Tannery is hosting Tannery Night during the festival, where they're bringing together a lot of the entities within the Tannery to collaborate for a festival on one of the evenings. There's so many yummy elements. So we do hope that everybody will check out the website and come visit us.
Oh, well, let's talk about the website. Well, if you just do Ripple Effect Santa Cruz, you're going to find it, folks. But just to be clear, it's Ripple Arts Fest, Santa Cruz. .org. You won't remember
thank
that.
you.
Just put into your search engine.
Put in Ripple Effect Santa Cruz.
You'll get it. And we want to make sure, because you have, at the end of all of this, okay, people have crisscrossed the county and they've tried this and they've tried that, and then at the very, very end, they can just explode with your closing gala, right?
The finale.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. You want to talk about that a bit? Because that is a ticketed event, and if you want to go, you want to plan.
That's going to be at the Grove, formerly the Coconut Grove, at the Boardwalk, and it's a fantastic event center. It's really rich, with a number of different rooms that are going to be activated by artists from the community, which is going to be an exciting element in itself. But then towards the end, we're going to have an artist named Helado Negro.
He's Ecuadorian, but,
and
lives
so
in
he
Brooklyn.
sings in Spanish and English. And wonderful, wonderful artist. We're really looking forward to him.
Yeah, and a shout out to Chanel Enriquez and Christy Jarvis for all the hard work that they did in organizing the talent and finding this fantastic headliner, and all the community of artists locally who are also supporting the finale effort. So,
And is there food, drink? happening?
There's food and drink that you can purchase at the finale at the Grove.
So you buy your ticket and you can go. And if you want to, you can buy food and drink there, or you can enjoy one of the great restaurants in Santa Cruz and then buzz on over.
And buzz on over.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you can go into one of the rooms and get activated. I love that word.
Let's get activated.
Oh, I'm feeling very visual arts right now. I'm activated. I got to ask, are you planning to sell patented ripple effect vitamin supplements so that people can get through this marathon of beauty?
That's our fundraiser for next year.
Yeah, you could.
We hadn't thought about vitamins.
I might hook up with one of the...
Want to do it all?
Yeah.
You can.
I know.
With ripple effect.
You're getting into dangerous territory here.
1995. FDA approved.
So as we begin to wind down, anything else that you want to get in here?
I just want to also, in parallel to Michael Garlington's gorgeous exhibition in the front of the gallery, side by side, we have Rochambeau, which is a dynamic exhibition bringing together photography, painting, ceramics, and kinetic sculpture by 8 extraordinary artists. And I'm going to name them for you.
Oh, good.
Laura Engdahl, Sarah Friedlander, Franz Lanting, who we just talked about, Maddie Leeds, Joel Levick, Cheryl Moreno, Moto Otaki, and Anne Skonberg.
Ooh, some of my favorites.
And yes, the name was inspired by the game. That was a name Rose came up with, a fantastic name inspired by rock, paper, scissors, the game where you play with your hands. And the works play up each other in a similar way of moving across mediums.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. And so people can go during the entire event, April 16th through the 26th. They can go to MK Contemporary to enjoy that amazing exhibition. That's like museum quality right there.
Oh, so good.
And then anything else? Did we cover everything that you want covered as we wrap up? Any last thing you want to get in there?
I do just want to say that this does cover so much of Santa Cruz, from up in Felton to UCSC to Cabrillo College and Aptos and Scotts Valley, down to Watsonville and Pajaro Valley, that this is really Santa Cruz County. This is all of us together, and we hope everyone will come out and try something, get excited about something, try more than one thing actually, but check out the website, go to the things that inspire you, and hopefully you'll go to something new and fall in love.
Okay, one last question. Starting April 27th.
Oh, God.
How long are you going to sleep?
I'm off to France.
Okay. Yeah.
She's
You
off
just
to France.
melt like a puddle after all this work.
Honestly, it's been a lot. But it's been great. It's been really great, but it's been a work. Project Creep extraordinaire.
Yeah, we're so very happy with how it's come together, and it's coming up soon. Excited for the festival.
Okay. I hope to bump into you
Yeah,
there
I hope so
at one of
too.
these amazing events. Thank you so much for
Oh,
believing
thank
in your
you.
dream and making it happen.
Thank you for believing in us and all you do to support the arts community, Christine.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
thank you.
and all the people who have helped to bring the Ripple Effect Festival together, because it's not just us. There's a whole community that are working with us to bring this together. So big shout out to all our partners.
Wonderful. Thank you to the Santa Cruz community for having the talent and the organizational ability and the volunteer power to make it happen. Ripple Effect, April 16th to 26th. Don't miss it. This has been Talk of the Bay. I'm Christine Barrington on KSQD. K-Squid, your ink spot on the dial.